Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer online action. As you can see, I've taken the Dark Elves. We are taking a battle against the Lizardmen, so definitely in for a wild fight. I've taken Morathi just for fun. She's probably not the most competitive lord for the Dark Elves. Malekith is definitely better in a lot of respects, but Morathi, I think it's Morathi. She's a lot of fun. She's got anti-large armor piercing weapon strength, pretty decent. It looks like a bonus versus large of only 15, but still, everything helps. Okay, combat stats, 55 and 40 is not great for a heroic unit. Only 40 armor as well, so you really don't want to be having her in melee too much. But, if she gets caught out, she can handle herself okay. In terms of her magic, she's got Soul Stealer from the lore of Dark Magic, as well as Power of Darkness, so she's able to heal herself by draining enemy combatants, which is very strong. I've also brought Soul Blight. She's got a few spells from the lore of Death, one of them being Soul Blight, to help Sunder armor. The Saurus Warriors, Temple Guards, and so on have pretty decent armor, so it definitely helps Black Ark Corsairs and so on trade more effectively. She's also got this map-wide armor debuff after she casts a spell, so, stacking that together can be potentially pretty useful. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for her. For the main line, it's a mix of Black Ark Corsairs and Black Guard of Nagaron. So the Black Guard of Nagaron are a very good unit. Most elite tier halberd units in Game 1 weren't great, but these guys are really good. They've got great weapon strength, armor piercing with a bonus versus large of 24, which is huge. Great combat stats, defense, 110 armor as well. So the Lizardmen, who generally lack armor piercing in their front line, are going to struggle to beat these guys in an infantry battle. And the Black Ark Corsairs as well, although they don't have a lot of armor piercing, they do have a bonus versus infantry. Only 7, but still it's decent. They have 80 armor as well, so they're fairly resistant to the Saurus Warriors and so on. So definitely a decent unit. Using these guys in combination, they definitely complement each other very well. We've also got 2 Dark Shards for some armor-piercing missiles, very strong against the monsters of the lizards. And I believe that's pretty much it. We do have a Cold One Knight, out on this flank. These guys are very good. Anti-large armor piercing. They don't have great combat stats, but 56 charge bonus is excellent. I believe we have one more over here in the kind of defending this flank here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my army. My opponent's army, you can see, is getting very close here. He's got a front line of skink cohorts with some Saurus warriors in the rear line. 1 unit of Temple Guard here. Actually 2 units, looks like. He's also got a Feral Stegodon, a couple skink cohorts with javelins. His general is Kroq-Gar on foot, which is interesting. Usually you'll see him up on Grimlock, but on foot he can potentially be very good as well. He still has heavy weapon strength with 310 armor piercing and a 15 bonus versus large. Pretty good combat stats, 95 armor. The issue is in this guy he lacks mass, and of course the terror of riding on Grimlock, but still pretty good. We've also got a Solar Engine Bastiladon over here, which is a very nice pick. Over here we've got some Cold One Riders, and you definitely want to probably bring the Spear variant. These guys are good. They've got armor piercing, but the bonus versus large that the Cold One Riders with Spears bring is, slightly more useful, I would say. Definitely worth the extra cost there. Let's go ahead and kick things off. I'm trying to remember if my opponent had any kind of mage. I don't believe he has any magic, which is interesting. Lore of Beast could potentially be a good pick, or Lore of Heavens. Both are a pretty good complement to Kroq-Gar. You can see the Solar Engine Laser Lizard opening up on Morathi, going to be able to do some decent damage there. She's also got pretty low armor, so I'm going to have to watch out for these skink cohorts. They can potentially do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, the main line engagement's already kicked off here. You can see the Black Guard and the Black Ark Corsairs facing up in this mainline engagement here. The Black Guard will hold very, very well, especially against lowly skinks, and Saurus, they do have 52 weapon strength, which is decent, but you can see the armor's being sundered now as spells are being cast, and the Black Guard taking very little damage overall here. Just trying to focus fire with the Dark Shards onto Kroq-Gar since he doesn't have a miss block chance. But, he's not taking too much damage, being a smaller target as he is not on the dinosaur. My opponent's Cold One Riders looking for an opening here. They're going to probably try and come through here to get onto these Dark Shards, which is a strong play. The Feral Stegodon unfortunately got caught up in some Black Guard and some Dread Spears. Really not where it wants to be. These Dark Shards were also able to fire fairly effectively in there. These Temple Guard are struggling definitely against the Black Guard. It's a fairly even trade between these two units, but you can see these Temple Guard actually breaking through on the center. The Black Guard Corsairs are good units, but they're definitely outmatched by Temple Guard. But you can see over here we're dropping that Soul Stealer. Morathi's been pretty severely damaged by that Laser Lizard. It's been just continuing to poke away, as well as the Skink Cohort. I wasn't really paying it too much attention, but yeah, she took some major damage there. Meanwhile, my opponent pushing through the center with his Cold One Riders. I'm going to intercept with my Cold One Knights, and you can see some Lizard Rider action going down in here. It looks like the Lizard Cold Ones are actually much bigger. That's interesting. But of course the bonus versus large of the Cold One Knights is going to help them win that battle. My opponent's also just really aggressively trying to pull away and get into my Dark Shards, meaning he's not getting attack animations on the Cold One Knights. And that is definitely working in my favor. You can see Murderous Prowess now going off, so all my troops are going to be getting really nice buffs across the board. Morathi's now dropping that Soul Blight here to lower the weapon strength and armor of all these units. The Laser Lizard, though, is continuing to be a menace, and I'm really having to try and dodge every single shot. But you can see these Skink Cohorts down to 0 armor, Saurus down to only 15 armor. Very, very good for me. These Black Guard just continuing to hold valiantly here in the center. They're definitely a great unit. Phoenix Guard as well, and Temple Guard, all of those, and Storm Vermin, I guess, too. Everyone has all the Game 2 factions at least have these elite tier halberd units that are actually useful. It's nice to see. Really, I guess the only elite tier halberd we had in Game 1 was Chosen with halberds. I can't really think of any others, but they were never wildly effective. But it's nice to see that these elite tier halberds in this game actually have a place and seem to be decent units overall. This Feral Stegodon is tried to come back to the fight, but it just doesn't have the leadership to hold up here. And the fact that these Dark Shards are still online here and they're able to fire, definitely going to be rough. Kroq-Gar, being a small target as he is, isn't going to take that much damage, but anything we can do to him. You can see another Soul Stealer going to be dropped here. Just continuing to try and heal up Morathi. She's sitting here in the back. The Laser Lizard actually getting caught up on these Black Guard, which is really, really nice for me. We're able to do quite a bit of damage to it. And these Black Guard here continuing to hold in the center, being reinforced by some of these Black Guard Corsairs, which came back from routing. This unit also is going to be trying to get in on the Skink Cohort here. Meanwhile, we're just finishing things off here in terms of the Cold One Riders. Just continuing to have this lizard combat here. You can see Morathi's flying across the battlefield. This Laser Lizard is very, very low, but it looks like it is going to come back from routing. So I'm going to bring Morathi across, and now that she's healed up a little bit, she can probably take this guy in melee with her armor-piercing anti-large weapon strength. So we're going to get her on there, see if she can see it off the battlefield. Meanwhile, these Black Guard just continuing to clean up the last of these Saurus here, and holding out very, very well in the center. This unit of Black Guard Corsairs getting routed off by Kroq-Gar, but he's taking quite a bit of damage and doesn't have any more charges of Cold-Blooded or anything else to heal him up, which is definitely going to be a tough time. You can see the balance of power starting to shift in my favor as we are bringing in the Black Guard here to help deal with these Skinks, and although Skinks are completely adorable, there's no getting around that. They're going to get carved up hardcore here, so... Yeah, Dark Shards as well, just continuing to fire in on these Temple Guard. They do have a nice missile block chance, but we will be able to get some damage in there. And the Cold One Knight's doing some nice armor-piercing damage on Kroq-Gar. Of course, his anti-large armor-piercing will be very good against them. But, you know, we're mostly just in a holding pattern at this point, trying to clean up the rest of his infantry. Morathi actually came down, and I missed it, but she actually killed that Laser Lizard there, so... tough day for the Lizardmen. Morathi surviving there and coming back towards the battle. Very, very healthy, and that's pretty much going to be all she wrote for the Lizardmen. They're just a few units here that are rampaging and still holding on, but yeah. The Skink Cohort's a decent unit against the Dark Elves. They're just a great unit overall in terms of their utility, but yeah. I think if my opponent would have brought Kroq-Gar up on Grimlock, it would have been a lot bigger of an issue for me, because I'm not sure. I'll have to double check on which units are immune to psychology, but let's go ahead and take a look at the breakdown here. Great battle, well played to my opponent. Yeah, for my forces, the Black Guard Corsairs doing really well, at least these two units. This one kind of got plowed, but the Black Guard as well picking up a lot of kills, at least these two. 123 and 79 is great. 23 kills only for these guys, but they did get a chevron, so evidently they got some work done. These Dark Shards had those chevrons at the beginning, so nothing really to write home about there, although these guys do have great utility. The Cold One Knights, each getting some chevrons, getting some really, really nice kills against those Cold One riders. And because my opponent was so hell-bent on getting on those dark shards, he really didn't do as much damage as he needed to the Cold One Knights. If he had focused all these guys, you know, he outnumbered me, you know, 3 units to 2. He could have potentially beat me there, even though he doesn't have the bonus versus large and all that. Yeah, it's interesting. 144 kills on those Temple Guards is great. These guys are really good in this matchup. The Saurus Warriors as well, doing okay. I'd probably cut these Skink cohort and just bring more Saurus. The regular Skink cohort won't do a whole lot, or else you can cut them and bring more of the Skink cohort with Javelins. They actually, you know, the Poison Javelins can be pretty useful. Laser Lizard, almost able to finish off Morathi there, but not quite. If it had been able to, this battle might have gone a different way, and the Feral Stegodon just not able to have the leadership to hold up in this fight. So hope you guys enjoyed watching that battle. I enjoyed playing it, so if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more every single day, so we will see you next time, and stay tuned for more.